Hey, welcome to the Tim and Gugabe podcast. This is your host, Tim Gugabe. It's been a while. How are you doing? It's been a few weeks.
Yeah, not too bad. Nice to be back in the old chair and getting on the nice microphone. Didn't bother bursting it out for the other podcasts I guess to be on. How are we, Tim?
Yeah. I'm good. I'm just glad we're back. And yeah, sorry, I was busy the last few weeks. I just needed to take a little bit of time off, but we're good. We'll be going forward now. But I don't know. How have you been doing the last few weeks? I haven't been paying attention.
I don't know, a bit of a downward slump for me betting wise, but well, happens. Just
Gotcha.
missing the 50-50s. I feel like I'm like 0 and 10 on coin flips the last few weeks. It happens.
Yeah, yeah, shit happens.
Just bet
Cool.
a few subs.
Um, I guess we can just get straight into the card. We can start from the bottom. Alexander Yakovlev and Joel Alvarez. What do you think here?
Joel Alvarez is an elite submission fighter based on subbing Joe Duffy. His sub prop being the same as Demian Myers was against Yakovlev makes sense. Like it legitimately is.
Yeah, yeah. His inside the distance is um it was a ridiculous price. It's like even money plus 110, yeah.
Yeah, it was like minus 110 at one point, which is crazy. It's like, Yakovlev Alvarez has no takedown defense, he spams guard subs. I think there's probably value on GTD and on Yakovlev. I think that Yakovlev can survive decent guys.
Yeah.
Striking wise, I don't think either's a massive KO threat. Yeah, as far as I can say, both the go distance and the Yakovlev money line both kind of decide. Yakovlev could probably land for him fairly easily if it comes down to it. Not that Yakovlev's particularly consistent or intelligent. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I tend to agree with you. I haven't made a play or anything. I just kind of feel like I just don't think Alvarez I mean, he could. I just tend to think his inside the distance around even money has to be overvalued. And the only time Yakovlev was subbed was Zach Cummings, and it was like a crucifix straight armbar when he was on bottom. It wasn't a guard sub or anything. So I feel like that submission's not as applicable here. And yeah, he survived Damian Maia for 15 minutes, so he can survive here. But I agree with you on both. I think the goes the distance and Yakovlev are probably value. I do worry a little bit if Yakovlev doesn't against Roberts. It took him a while to start going for takedowns, and he conceded around. And I do think like Alvarez's striking looked a little better against Duffy, even though it was kind of just a few minutes. But he was throwing some strong leg kicks, and I don't trust Yakovlev on the feet. So I mean, I think eventually Yakovlev will go for takedowns, but you know what I mean? Like it did take him a little too long against Roberts, I feel. He only went for like one at the end of the round one.
Like, I hate on Roberts a lot, but I think honestly Roberts is a level above. Like, he didn't go for the takedowns, obviously, in the fight IQ indictment, but like Alvarez is very takedownable. And I think Roberts is that easy to take down.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And even the Roberts fight's pretty indicative. Like Alvarez will go for stupid subs, so it's against possibly just hits one, and like knowing our luck, he'll just randomly jump a guillotine 40 seconds in. And somebody who bet minus 110 Alvarez on the opener will just be like easiest money ever.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
just how life is, but like, yeah, I think the GTD could be. I think GTD could be in minus odds, honestly, and I think that Yakovlev could be hindsight favorite.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I tend to think that as well. GTD at like plus 160 just kind of seems a little bit nuts. It's even better than that in some books too. Um, but yeah, like I think we're on the same page there. If I decide to play it, I won't go big or anything, but I do agree with both of those plays. Kenney and Wood. Um, I like Kenney a lot. You know, you and I kind of started the Casey Kenney fan club. I feel, or at least we were definitely part of it. I feel in his early days. But I, as much as I like him, I just feel like minus 200 versus Wood. I just feel like that's too expensive.
Yeah.
Um, like I don't know. I just feel like on the feet, what's skilled, you know? And it's not like Kenney goes for takedowns that much. Like Kenney, it seems like he likes to sprawl and brawl for the most part. And I don't know. Like I just feel like it will be a pretty competitive striking fight. I do think Kenney has a little better durability in general, but yeah, I don't know. Like I expect a fairly competitive fight.
Yeah, I'm probably playing Wood for like Yinder, so I just think it's kind of like I think Wood's cardio is a little bit better. Kenny's had historically some issues with cardio, and Wood will put a good pace on. Like Wood will throw 200 odd strikes.
Yeah.
Kenny looked very good against Alateng, but I'm like, if this fight was made instead of Kenny Alateng, what would the price be? Look, realistically, evens, maybe in Wood favorite.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely got a bump because of that fight for sure. He looked good in it,
And
but still, it's
and his striking
Alatang.
against Dodson a bit, like he got knocked out, but he actually hung in the striking, and Dodson is not easy to compete with striking.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think Wood's generally a decent spot. Main issue of Wood I have is he's not very good at defending the body kicks or the leg kicks, but I just actually think this should be a pretty close fight. Like, I kind of like the RDD conceptually, but it's like the issue is that I don't think either's going to tap the other.
No, I don't.
Um, I was big on Kenny originally, like you were, and I kind of faded them more recently. Like I faded them against Smolka, and I thought Smolka had the right idea against him, but got clipped. Um, Yeah,
I think it's
Wood
more,
could get stopped here, but I just feel like Wood's got a decent chance of just making it competitive round after round. Like even like not Kenny decisions minus 160, which I know Kenny will win a split decision if I hit that. If I hit that bet, Kenny will win a split decision with 2 knockdowns because that's just how my not decision bets go. But
yeah,
I think not Kenny by decision because I think Kenny RTD might be a bit mispriced. And I think Wood to win might be a bit mispriced. I think not Kenny by decision could even like capture both of those misprices. But yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like I do favor Kenny's durability more. I might slightly favor him, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't like the price. Like I'm probably gonna pass, but I don't blame you for playing Wood. Yeah, that's a good deal. I feel.
Yeah, I don't mind 55% Kenny. I just don't think you can really justify a minus 200 kind of pricing.
Yeah, 66% is pretty big. Um,
And Wood's still young, and I do like Wood's output is very good.
yeah, yeah,
And Kenny historically has had some cardio issues, and like people were saying like he's fixed up due to the Alting fight. But I think it's Alting. He took some big breaths, and Alting was kind of a sitting duck.
yeah. Kenny just hasn't beaten a good striker yet. That's the thing, you know. Wood, like if he outstrikes Wood, it would be by far his best striking victory. You know, um, has he outstruck anyone like that we? I'm trying to think, like anyone that's a striker? Not really. Like Wood's a pretty good striker, I feel.
Yeah,
Like Wood outlanded Andre Ewell. Um, he doubled him up at distance, on the feet. So when it was there, obviously he later smashed him on the mat. But like Wood can handle himself, I feel.
yeah. Wood put together a good pressure game against. I would actually like to see the all game plan from Wood, where he came forward a lot and he was very sort of in his face and made him gas.
Yeah,
Whilst I think that last Castaneda performance, he was a bit less. He was still high volume, but he was a bit more on the outside. And I was thinking that wasn't. I'd rather see the come forward strategy against Kenny than I would the kind of hang back and give kicking range time strategy. I don't know.
yeah. Um, yeah, like I think it's dog or pass personally. I just think Kenny's too expensive at that price. But
Yeah,
all right, well, moving on, Maverick and Jojua. Like I think Maverick's better. And I just feel like she's a rightful favorite. I feel like Jojua kind of just relies on guard subs at times, and Maverick. I watched her fight versus Pearl Gonzalez. Like she knows what she's doing on the mat. Yeah, no, I don't know. I just think she's better everywhere. Did you look into this at all?
About the same. Looks like a better athlete, better grappler. Yeah, like maybe Jojua hits a main armbar, but
Yeah. I was
yeah,
looking at that, and Pearl Gonzalez was, like, I think Pearl Gonzalez is better than Jojua, and she was going for, like, arm bars and defending him. She's strong too, physically.
yeah. Yeah, I think Maverick should generally just be better, but yeah, no, I'm not rushing out to play -5 at 450 there.
Yeah,
Um,
she should be fine, but
she
I'm
should be, but still.
yeah, I don't have much else to say about that, but, Alvey and Jung, what do you think here?
I got on the go distance pretty early. I got plus 300 for it. It's coming in quite a bit now. Um, I think people are overrunning Jung's power a bit after that Rodriguez kind of minute knockout.
Yeah.
Like regionally, he got knockouts, but a lot of time he was more just like new accumulation, straight punching kind of a guy. And Alvey is the Alvey game plan's fairly easy with the jab and leg kick, and like just getting a 30-27 over Alvey is not that hard. But like Alvey is still pretty hard to finish because he's still durable and he just creates this very low tempo fight. Yeah, again, it'll probably come down to what Jung's trying to do. Like Jung decides to just take the easy win of jab him every so often and keep busy and to work the range. Decision probably looks like a hindsight. Yeah, Jung decision probably looks hindsight -200. If Jung decides to go in there, it'll turn into a shit show. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's dog or pass. It's I mean, Jung was outlanded by Ibragimov until the finish, and it was kind of Ibragimov gassing a lot, you know? Like, Ibragimov doubled him up in round 1 at distance, and, like, Alvey's low output, but he's competed, you know, at distance lately against guys like Ryan Spann. He outlanded. Um, yeah, like, I think it's dog or pass. Like, I don't I think anyone taking a swing on Alvey, that's fine. Just kinda depends on your risk tolerance, I feel. But, yeah, line's too wide. It's gonna be a striking fight. Alvey has good takedown defense and doesn't go for any, so be striking, and I mean, yeah, Jung knocked out Rodriguez, but whenever we've actually seen fights play out, I don't even think he's very good.
Yeah, like he's fairly, but he has good output.
Yeah,
I've played Alvey. I played Alvey against Spam, but I'm not playing him here. Just Jung's output is good enough. I don't really
yeah.
see much of a path
It's
for
just
Alvey
his
beyond the
tempo.
knockout.
Yeah.
Like he's not particularly defensively able or good. It's just he just does a lot of things, and I just can't see Alvey being able to win a decision over somebody who does that amount of things.
I could see I wouldn't bank on Alvey winning a decision, but I could see him just keeping it close. Like, I mean, the Span like, if he should have probably got the decision over Span, and I don't know, like, Jung's super hittable. So
Yeah,
like, I feel like Alvey can land, but, like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't count on him winning a decision. I just don't think he's complete KO or bust.
even not Jung Mighty D -110 isn't terrible in my opinion. Like Alvey's still durable, and just Alvey fights just tend to be these low, tepid, boring things of how Alvey strikes.
Yeah. I mean, all his fights are, like, split decision if they I feel like the fight will be close if it goes to the decision, you know? Like, I don't think Alvey will get completely outclassed or anything. I just feel like Jung's too sloppy, and he's
Yeah.
hittable. He has 47% striking defense. I mean, I know it's only been, like, 14 minutes in the cage, but that's just not good.
And it's just sort of kind of tricky to think. I mean, I think the Jung work rate will help him out, but yeah, it's like even if he comes in on Alvey, it's like Alvey's still got the big counters, and it's just kind of like, what situation does Jung really justify to -400? Apart from if Alvey's just fucked.
Yeah. No,
And
no,
like,
I
yeah,
I
Alvey
I
doesn't
agree.
seem that bad.
Yeah. I mean, he outlanded Span over the course of 3 rounds, so,
That's one of the funniest fights of all time. The time where like Span runs into the same counter 4 times in a row.
yeah.
It's beautiful. Like Span like has the exact same entry, and every time he gets stung by the same hook, and he just has his phase where he's like, "I did not see that coming."
That's, like, all Alvey lands too, his hook. It's like check hook.
There's legitimately a sequence in round 1 where he comes in, gets hit with it once, goes, "I shouldn't do that again," 5 seconds later, he does the exact same thing, gets hit with the same counter, and was like, I shouldn't do that again.
Yeah.
You could just see Span's brain slowly realizing he's going to have that happen to him if he keeps doing that. And it's just like, how the fuck?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, yeah, I think it's dog or pass. Oliveira and Rakhmonov. I looked into this. Did you?
I'm aware of Shavkat. I had a look at him for the Fabinski fight we got booked a while ago. Was going to play Fabinski against him as a dog. I'm surprised the line movement's been on him quite so hard. Like, he's gone from plus 155 to plus 105 in the last couple of days. Brazilian Cowboy is always kind of a question of what exactly he's going to come in trying to do. There is just a massive range of possibilities every time he enters the cage.
Yeah.
Like, Brazilian Cowboy trying to lane frame, I think, could win fairly consistently, but Brazilian Cowboy could do all sorts of things. Pass, honestly. Like,
yeah, it's a pass.
Maybe if Cowboy gets like dog odds or something like that, I might take a small stab. Even then, it's just like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, I just can't really tell how good Rakhmonov is. I feel like I don't really like his takedown defense or him on his back. So, and Oliveira lands, almost 3 takedowns per 15. So, like, Oliveira can probably get that going if he feels like it. But he didn't attempt a takedown against Sabata. But I mean, he was in control of that fight. So, like, I don't think it was that low fight IQ. He just, and Sabata's dangerous on the mat. I don't know. And then, I don't know, like, on the feet, I feel like Rakhmonov is I just can't tell how good his competition is, and I feel there's a lot of, like, waiting in his fights, and same with Oliveira. So I really don't know what's gonna happen on the feet, and Oliveira is also weird because some people just don't deal with his athleticism well, while others do. It's almost like kinda like a Divas Figueiredo thing, where I feel like like, you could tell, Sabata was just like, "What the fuck?" Like, "You're so much more athletic than me." And I don't know, and I feel like a lot of the guys Rakhmonov has been fighting aren't very athletic. So, I just like, if you play Rakhmonov at pretty close odds, I just feel like that he hasn't proven he can deal with, like, the athleticism of someone like this, or the speed. So I'm gonna pass on the fight, but I tend to lean Oliveira at this price. But yeah,
Crazy. Just random tweet. Jose Aldo versus Marlon Vera in the works. So UFC 255.
oh really?
That's gonna be incredible.
Oh god, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it's fine. Oh, it's bantamweight. Yeah, Aldo's bantamweight now. Anyway, yeah, this should be our Cowboys. Like, he just has such a massive upside and a massive downside. It's just like, if you bet him, it's just sometimes he rocks up in a certain mood, other times he doesn't rock up in that mood, and you just kind of rolling the dice.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Like,
there's
if
a lot of
Cowboy just
performance.
sunned him, it's like, all right, Cowboy's in that mood. If Cowboy just looked entirely fucking bored and unwilling to fight, it wouldn't shock me. We've seen both.
Rakhmonov was getting rocked on the regionals too. Like, I think like 3 fights ago, he almost got knocked out, and he was like mounted. Yeah, I don't know. I think Rakhmonov is pretty. He looks pretty solid. It's just I wasn't as impressed with him maybe as other people, but who knows? It's really hard to guess debuting fighters. Like, sometimes they turn out way better than I thought they'd be, and then sometimes they look awful. It's just tough, I feel.
And particularly when it's a debuting fighter against Alex Oliveira. It's just like,
Yeah.
every time BR Cowboy fights, he is a debuting fighter.
Yeah. But Struve and Tuivasa, I'll just let you take over here. Seems like your type of fight.
I kind of like the over.
When you say that, Tuivasa is just going to decapitate him or just get insta-tapped on the mat.
Yeah, I'm sure he will, but it's I was eyeballing it. I was like, I see nothing of value here. And actually, Struve did look pretty good against Rothwell, all things considered. like he had a leg kick game, looks pretty sensible, and Tuivasa is not that aggressive. So again, it wouldn't shock me if he got a bit of a staring match here. Even Tuivasa's decision at plus 600 isn't awful, but it's kind of a roll the dice. And Tuivasa, he's not a huge hitter, and like most of his power comes from elbows and knees. And I'm like, the physics of elbowing or kneeing Stefan Struve.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I remember back when Paul Felder fought James Vick, and I was like, well, Paul Felder shouldn't be able to use his elbows and knees because James Vick is twice his size, and then he started elbowing James Vick because fuck me, what? That's why. But usually that should work out. Yeah, it's hard to say. Like Stefan Struve could tap him pretty easily, maybe.
It's tough. Like I probably favor Tuivasa on the feet, but the grappling upside Struve, but Struve doesn't land all that many takedowns, you know? Like he lands like 0.6 per 15. So you can't totally trust him to optimize that path. But you know what I mean? Like it's just it's a goofy fight, isn't it?
Yeah, but the over 1.5 calls to me, but I don't want to play it. I just think Tuivasa or Struve could just come out homicide mode.
Yeah.
Like I don't think either has a massive work rate. I think Tuivasa is overrated as a KO threat. So that's most of my logic behind that. But fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I favor Tuivasa standing. Struve has a grappling upside. It should be a competitive line. I don't see anything too wrong with it. Moving on to a fight that we've talked about like 357 times, Ankalaev Cutelaba. I feel like it's been scheduled for every card for the past 2 years.
Every time we discuss this fight, I go Ankalaev's submission might be value. When I look at his record, I go he doesn't have any submissions. I'm like, the Cutelaba is easy to tap, but will Ankalaev go for subs? But and they end up not playing it. So I've done that.
Yeah. Yeah. Ankalaev's the rightful favorite. I favor him because of striking defense. I've said this like a million times, but yeah. I don't know why we get to talk about this again.
The over maybe, but when I look at the over, I'm kind of concerned that Cutelaba decides to come out looking for blood.
It depends what Cutelaba decides. he dictates the over under here.
Yeah, pretty much. Like if Cutelaba comes out,
he's the under is gonna hit. If he doesn't, the over is gonna hit. I think it's simple as that.
Yeah, I could see quite a sleepy, boring GTD sort of just tapered striking match if Cutelaba gives him that. But I could also see Cutelaba just going nuts, and you're flipping a coin on what Cutelaba feels like doing.
Yeah, for sure. Like with all the inside the distance or distance props, I feel like it's all about guessing tempo. Cutelaba usually goes nuts, so he probably will. But who knows? He might just decide to play it safe. I don't know. Who knows? But he's generally aggressive, I feel.
Yeah, like even the same for Jung Alvey, and I was talking about that earlier. I'm just like, if Jung does the sensible thing, I could see that being quite easy GTD, but I could also see Jung being a complete idiot.
Yeah.
And even when you get a good tempo, it still comes down to just does somebody land right? You get the stupid fights where it's like it's terrible tempo and then just a KO just happens. Then you get the other ones where it's like 300 significant strikes.
Yeah.
Everybody is fine.
Yeah, I don't always like playing over unders when subs are. I'm not saying subs are out the window here, but generally, like I'm more confident in over unders when I feel like there's process to a submission or a ground finish. I feel like it's easier to predict. Like you can call some striking finishes, but I don't know. Like even Ortega Zombie is just I don't know. It's just tough to kind of read some of these striking tempos. Like Zombie just didn't do much in that fight, and I don't think you could have totally predicted that. Like I feel like he would kind of walk him down and just not let his hands go. So it's just tough to guess striking tempo.
I mean, just purely like I played Ortega live for like 2.5 units, like a minute in, as soon as Ortega threw a leg kick and wasn't committing, and I was just like, Ortega is going to do a shitty Arch Stutter impression, and that's enough. Like I've just always felt Korean Zombie can't deal with leg kicks, and can't deal with people not giving him his exchanges. But even that, it's like if you had GTD in that one, you still got 2 bad knockdowns. and a big cut.
Yeah, I can't believe that like, he has a win over Moicano. It's just like, imagine like, I feel like if that knockout wouldn't happen, Moicano probably would've just done his thing, you know?
Yeah, I think Moicano, if he doesn't get killed in the first exchange, looks like hindsight like minus 1,000, and people were like, "There was no way Korean Zombie have ever won that fight." Which I think
Yeah,
is the issue of creating narratives to pay based on quick knockouts sometimes. I feel like, yeah, round one finishes, people will like, "Oh, the guy was always going to win that." But it's like, unless he just took him down and dominated in the grappling,
yeah. There has
KOs
to be
mean
a
fuck all.
process. Like, if you're lighting someone up for a full 5 minutes or something and then not get a knockout, that's fine, but, like, the first combo, it's just it's not enough of a sample. And
Or it's
even
just
fought
normal
better.
trades.
What's up?
Or it's just like a bunch of normal competitive trades and somebody drops.
Yeah, yeah. That's usually variance too.
But
Um,
yeah.
like, I don't know, like Sandhagen, Moraes, it's like Sandhagen was kind like, had he was kinda up the whole time, you know? Like, he was winning the exchanges, I feel. Like, even though he got, like, a second round finish, and I'm not just saying this because I played him, but he was up, like, triple on the strike count. Um, but, like, Zombie or, like, even, like, when Aldo knocked out Moicano, it was just kinda like it just kinda happened, and out of nowhere, I just feel like it's tough to read anything from that.
Yeah. Like, yeah, like, yeah, it's good. Santiago Moraes show, he was dominating the striking count, and like, he doesn't necessarily get a KO all the time, but yeah, he's probably got a decent chance of finding something
Yeah.
all up.
Um, Murphy and Shakirova. I looked into this. I just feel like Murphy's, like, more proven, and I think she's a better striker. Shakirova is she's kinda like a wrestler, um, but I don't know, her takedowns aren't bad, and she does go below the waist, which Murphy's usually a lot better in clinch takedown defense. It's the reason why I thought she would beat Roxanne because that's all Roxanne does is clinch takedowns. Um, I could see Shakirova landing a takedown or 2. I just don't think she can do all that much because Murphy doesn't allow many advances, and I just feel like Murphy's a better striker, and I think Murphy could probably get her own takedowns here. Like, she lands a little over a takedown a fight. Yeah, like, I think Murphy should win, much more proven, but, like, Murphy isn't all that she's probably not offensive enough to be confident in her at this line either, but if it, like, improved and got in the -1XX, I wouldn't see a problem playing Murphy, but I don't know, what do you think?
Uh, yeah, I'm probably about the same. Shakirova just does a sort of garbage tier and charge impression. Like, she's aggressive, she's small for the division, comes forward, occasionally holds people down with takedowns.
Yeah.
There's some brief Chinese regional footage of her grappling a bit, and when she's put in the back, she doesn't look particularly good. Like, I'm taking a small flyer on Murphy sub at plus 2,000. Like, Murphy hasn't gone for sub in the UFC, but like, she's good enough grappler. I she's capable of it.
She'll take the back too, and what's her name, does give up her back, so, I mean, that could happen, but who knows? It is definitely taking a swing, though.
Yeah, like plus 2,000 though.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure she should be dominant top control grappler, and it's like, you know, rear naked choke isn't that different. It's not outlandish to expect her to have a rear naked choke in her arsenal.
Yeah, and she also has been fighting girls who she's just not gonna sub, you know? Like, Roxanne's very tough to sub, Eubanks, pretty much everyone she's fought. She's had, like, tough competition, I feel, Murphy.
Yeah,
Like,
Jenny, yeah,
McMahon, Carmouche, like, you're not gonna sub them, you're not gonna sub Chookagian, you're not gonna sub Eubanks, you're not gonna sub Lee or Roxanne. Yeah, so she's probably undervalued, as a sub threat just because she's not gonna sub any of those girls. There's no way.
yeah, and
Um,
same with the ITD at plus 400. I'm just like, I just feel like Shakira over off her back looked mediocre enough. I'm willing to take a small swing on the sub.
yeah, and she might just get overwhelmed by the strikes. Yeah, I mean, if you like Shakirova for whatever reason, I feel like her decision line at plus 370 is way better than her money line at plus 210. I just doubt Murphy's very, very durable. I mean, you could not like her as a fighter, that's fine, but she's super tough.
She's gonna catch a toe in the eye, or she's gonna have a random body.
Yeah. She's gonna dislocate her shoulder off like a slam takedown. Just,
What was it? Was that choosing like contender this year? That wasn't it?
did that happen?
Yeah, underdog it was against a German guy. The underdog was looking pretty good, and he just gets slammed and the thing, and his shoulder pops out.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, that was annoying. I was on the underdog in that. I was like, what the strange.
Yeah.
Or he gets something like in charge last week where it's just, I don't know, Chukagi and his body just exploded randomly.
Yeah. I could see Murphy inside the distance at plus 400 having value, just because I don't even know if this girl's UFC level. And Murphy like has finishes in her career, so
The main concern is my main concern is Meister McKO, so it's just kind of like, will she go for a sub if she gets there? But like, I'm willing to take a right. I could see a universe where Murphy sub looks like hindsight. Like, Murphy sub could look hindsight like plus 200. It could even look like hindsight minus if Shakirova can't the offer back.
Is Shakirova is or whatever the fuck her name is she's probably the worst fighter Murphy's fought in the UFC. I mean, McMahon, Carmouche, Fashels, I'm like blanking on her games. I can't remember there. Chukagian, Barb Honchak's not bad. Eubanks, Barella, Lee, Modafferi. Yeah, like she probably is, right? If not, like definitely bottom 3 easily.
Yeah. And she's quite small for flyweight too, in my opinion, just eyeballing her. Yeah. Like again, if Murphy could just if Murphy just gets on top and ends up mauling her, it wouldn't shock me. But again, it's a bit of a stab in the dark with the sub play.
Yeah, definitely. There's some questions here.
Plus 1400, I just think there's enough possible upside there. It's like, I could see Murphy's sub being hindsight like plus 100 territory.
Yeah, or just her as a finish too. I could just see it happening. But Hawes and Malkoun, I haven't taped this. What the fuck's going on here? Who are these people?
Malkoun is an Australian grappler. Unfortunately, I didn't enter Pampax last year, otherwise I would have faced him in the Australian Grappling Arts.
Oh, nice.
He won the purple belt Pampax thing. As somebody who's won that kind of title at super heavyweight in Australia, it's not a significant grappling title. I've seen some people trying to argue, points him as being like an elite grappler. No, it does not. I say that purely from coming from the exact same position, I guess.
Yeah.
Like if you're like a semi-professional athlete, if you're actually doing like consistent cardio and you're big and athletic, you can run through Australian grappling pretty easily.
Yeah.
Hawes can wrestle a bit. Question will he bother? Malkoun, he's got decent striking, but he's like 4-0 and it's all like Australian hex competition, so it's really regional.
Yeah.
Price is probably about right. Like maybe Malkoun wins if Hawes gives him the striking match and just gets into a fucking dick measuring contest, possibly. But I think Hawes, Hawes won the JUCO nationals, didn't he, in wrestling?
I haven't looked into him. I don't know him. I'll look into him whenever I start researching. But
pretty sure it was JUCO. It was the JUCO national. NCAA JUCO.
Let me look.
Yeah, Iowa Central National Junior College Wrestling.
Oh, Iowa Central is good.
He won the JUCO title.
This guy actually, I mean, he's wrestled like Chris Pendleton and shit. So yeah, like he looks like he actually has a wrestling background. Yeah.
So like, I assume if he goes for takedowns, like he should be able to hold down a 3-year experience Australian. Like he should be able to. We're not very good at grappling.
I remember this. Is this? I remember.
He was on TNC.
I remember. I remember researching Sanchez against Turman, and they had fought on the Ultimate Fighter. Hawes and Sanchez. I remember this guy. Yeah. And Sanchez like stopped all his takedowns. Yeah, I remember this guy. Yeah, he's a pretty good wrestler.
Yeah, so like if he goes for that, I think he could cover his handicap. If he starts getting to a cock measuring thing on the feet, maybe he doesn't. Even then, it's like Malkoun's just got very low competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of his losses, Hawes, are like understandable too. Like all those guys are pretty solid. Marquez, Luis Taylor, and Sanchez.
Yeah, about right.
Yeah, I'll look into it though, but Volkov and Harris, I think Volkov is value, but it's kinda like I'm having trouble deciding whether or not I'm gonna play him or play him live because I feel like Harris's path to victory is probably around one knockout. Like Harris can stay dangerous, I guess, like throughout a fight because his work rate's not great. But I feel like you'll get answers to the tempo of the fight too with Volkov and Harris. Like Harris might just go nuts right away. Um, but I feel like Volkov should just kind of like leg kick and jab him up and just kind of out volume him over the course of 3 rounds. So, like, I think Harris is borderline KO or bust. And also, like, even Volkov doesn't do it all that much, but I feel like Harris is bad enough to where if Volkov lands a takedown or something, he could probably take advantage of a grappling situation too. And Volkov like has landed takedowns in the UFC, so it's not completely far fetched. But yeah, that's kind of like my main broad thoughts of the fight.
Yeah, I can broadly agree. I hit Harris when he first opened at plus 182 just because I was like, it feels a bit wide, but jumped on some Volkov minus 150 coming the other way. Again, I feel Harris could just dead him, but it's like Volkov should be a minute winner, which means decent amount, but Volkov's defense also isn't the best.
Yeah.
And like Harris is better than Derek Lewis and all that, so it's like a good chance of being a shit. So like a Harris win probably looks dominant because it'll probably just be like Harris just smiting him. But yeah, Volkov should just win minute. Yeah, Volkov should win minute. I do agree Volkov should be favourite, but just questions like Harris could just kill him.
Yeah. I might just kind of like hold off and kind of watch the first few minutes of the fight. You know, I feel like wouldn't you think Harris's KO would come early? He generally is better in the first round.
Yeah, and like he's been starting quite quick these days too. Like if Harris just ran out and like 90-second killed him, I wouldn't be shocked. But yeah, Harris probably loses if it goes to decision. Volkov's busy. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of broadly where I'm at. I just feel like Harris. It's just gonna be strange. It depends on can Volkov deal with like 1 or 2 Harris blitzes. And I think Harris is still probably the scariest. Harris is probably still the like second scariest heavyweight after Nagano.
I mean, he's definitely got some pop, but
he's got pop. He's just fucking quick too.
Yeah, he's fast. I still think Volkov's like a solid striker. Like he's a good volume striker for sure. He generally outlands everyone. But
he is. But
what's that?
Small output. His defense is shy. He's always been fairly there to be hit though. It's my issue.
I agree. Yeah. Whittaker and Cannonier. What do you think here?
Like knee jerk. Every time I've looked at this, like my original knee jerk feel was just Cannonier by leg kicks, kind of a thing. But I don't want to play him at favorite odds.
Yeah.
Whittaker should win minutes. Like I can see the argument for Whittaker dog play, but again, Whittaker's he has close fights, and Cannonier's a physical freak. Pass at this price, honestly. Like, I can't really see anything I want. Like, even the overs and GTDs, and nah.
From like a metric point of view, there's not a huge advantage for either guy. I kind of lean Whittaker, honestly. Like, I feel like he moves his feet well. Like, he has good footwork, so I don't know if Cannonier will just be able to easily leg kick him. And I just feel like Whittaker's a good minute winner on the feet, and it's only 3 rounds. But I feel like Whittaker's more skilled, wouldn't you think? But it's just Cannonier it's tough to deal with. I don't know. I'm like thinking out loud. Like, there's definitely some variance with it being a striking fight and whatnot. But like, I tend to think Whittaker's probably more skilled, and I feel like he might be a little undervalued right now, or Cannonier might be a little overvalued compared to what he has been in the past. So I tend to think the value's on Whittaker, but I'm just like, I don't know. It's still like high variance striking fight where neither guy has a huge statistical or output edge either. So I don't know.
Also, Whittaker kind of lets his leg out to be kicked. Like he's had some historical issues with leg kicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like even if Whittaker does win, you probably get have at least one. Like you're gonna have one moment where Cannonier hurts or knocks him down.
Yeah, he probably will. Yeah.
No, that's my thing. Like Whittaker will probably Whittaker will win a 29-28 and he'll win like 13 minutes of it, but there'll be that one terrifying moment.
Yeah.
And it's just Whittaker, the way he strikes, he's not really conducive to a standard point striking. So like he'll be busy, but just all the in and out. He flings himself in. He needs these longer combos. It's just he just always courts risk. Like he's very good at it. There's just always going to be inherent risk to what he does.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of leading me out of a play on Whittaker. Like I do agree that like Whittaker should be a bit more skilled, and yeah, I think Whittaker's probably got more upside. But yeah,
Yeah. I think his decision line at plus 220 is in a bad swing. I mean, 15, like, I don't know. I feel like this could go the distance. But like, neither guy's like got major durability issues. I don't think either guy's going to sub the other. So I don't know. Like, I could just see, I could just see not only the goes the distance, but also Whittaker winning by decision. But yeah, I'm just kind of like throwing shit out there. It's kind of I don't really know how good Cannonier is. I feel like he's solid, but has he had like a ton of just 15-minute kickboxing fights? Like, I feel like
he
all his
doesn't.
fights are like him, people like trying to grapple him and him getting a finish, or like just like people taking him down. Like I've never really seen him in full 15-minute kickboxing fights often.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I think there was a Cutelaba fight, kind of. Even then, Cutelaba tried a lot of takedowns.
Yeah, yeah,
He's just a physical freak, and it's just awkward because I do like the leg kick addition to his game, and like he hurts people badly when he leg kicks them now.
yeah,
But yeah, it's a bit, yeah. There's question marks there.
yeah,
Hopefully, Cannonier will get that yarn rematch for the title.
yeah. I mean, he could. Um,
It's funny, Cannonier's had a loss to both of the light heavyweight title contenders.
yeah, both of them. Reyes just kind of killed him, right? Like really early, just like the first exchange or something.
Was yeah, like no,
Yeah,
Ray's actually looked pretty good. He just like kind of backpedaled and Cannonier couldn't pursue properly and just eventually got wanged.
yeah,
Yeah, good performance by Ray's that one.
yeah. Umar Nurmagomedov and Morozov. What do you think here?
Umar's in hospital due to something or other. It's off.
Oh, is that off? Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I knew that.
Can't remember what it was. I was actually vaguely thinking Morozov. Like he's not particularly fancy or good. He's a easy, well put together fighter, and it's plus 450.
Yeah, my
Like I
bad.
mean,
I forgot that was off.
and I'm sure that like there will be enough action like early in the week. Sergey Morozov would randomly be like plus 700 just because people will be betting Nurmagomedov.
Yeah,
There'll just be a bunch of people parlaying the two Nurmagomedovs.
yeah. Well, the other Nurmagomedov, Khabib against Gaethje, a highly anticipated fight. I'll go first. I feel like there's just not enough. Like, I don't want to be boring here, but there's really not enough data on Gaethje's takedown defense or defensive grappling. There's just not. So I don't. So I think like Khabib as a sizable favorite is completely reasonable, but it's one of those fights where like either guy could look like a favorite, like in hindsight. Um, so it's kind of like I just feel like it's a little bit blind. Um, as I do think, like one thing I do want to say, I do think Khabib is a little bit better of a striker than people realize. Like, I mean, especially with the takedown threat, it just gives him success. Like he outlanded. I mean, I know Iaquinta is not great, but he dominated him from distance, and I don't know. He like had a good approach whenever the takedown started failing a little bit in that fight by just sitting behind his jab. Like I feel like he seemed intelligent and didn't gas or anything. He also outlanded Barboza at distance, even though it was it didn't stand. They weren't standing all that long, but there were pockets in between the grappling stages. And like Nurmagomedov, he defended himself against McGregor on the feet too. So, like, I mean, I agree if it stays striking, I favor Gaethje, and he would probably win, but I do think Nurmagomedov can defend himself more than people might think. Um, Gaethje definitely hits harder, but still, like, I still kind of question Gaethje's chin. Um, but as far as the grappling goes, I feel like we don't have enough data. Gaethje he wasn't a great college wrestler or anything. He was just a one-time All-American. And yeah, like he qualified for the NCAA a few times, but he only medaled one time and he took 7th, so he wasn't some insane wrestler or anything. I don't know, and I feel like Khabib has pretty much been value at every line he's ever been, almost in any fight. So it's hard to just bet against. It's just probably not a good idea to bet against him. But I do think this is probably stylistically one of the more interesting matchups he's had in a while. Because theoretically, you think a sprawling brawler would beat him. Gaethje might be able to do it, but it's really, really hard to know if he can. And like we don't even know if Gaethje can like defend hooks if he gets them put in here or something. We have no idea. I feel like in the first few minutes we're gonna know what's gonna happen. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm about the same. Like, Khabib's going to be one of those guys who is going to look minus 1,000 every fight till he eventually gets solved and it looks plus 1,000.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, I could see it. Like, I'm not saying he's as bad as Rousey is, but I could see like dynamics similar to that, where it's just like either you can deal with it or you can't.
yeah. I still do think don't you think his striking's like not bad at all?
Contextual, like, I mean, what's the con? Like, if you put him in a pure kickboxing match against somebody who wasn't looking for his wrestling and wasn't tired, I think it would be not
Yeah,
great.
but that's not what we have here, you know? Like there
Yeah.
are takedown threats, so
Like, the Iaquinta thing was kind of like Iaquinta was just looking for a knockout, A, and B was very aware of the takedown threat. Like, yeah, Khabib jabbed him, but it wasn't really in normal context.
yeah.
Um,
But I'm just saying he outlanded Iaquinta 100 to 41 at distance, so it's not like I mean that's pretty good, you know? Like, um, I just feel like Khabib is a little better there than people give him credit for, you know?
yeah, I don't think he's an F minus striker. I think he's capable and he's a freak athlete, which helps him a lot.
Yeah, he's a freak.
Um, like, I could see something completely stupid, like Khabib just throwing a fucking flying knee or something, and just like Gaethje died. Gaethje stuffs the takedown, and the next shot, Khabib just throws a stupid flying knee. And it's like, well, that happened.
It would be so funny if like, dude, how funny would it be if Gaethje was like defending the takedowns and then Khabib knocked him out? It'd be fucking awesome. Like,
Just something really obnoxious, like again, like a flying knee fake or something like that.
yeah, fucking like Gaethje defends takedowns, and it's just like I don't know, he's like marginally winning on the feet, and then the second round Khabib just knocks him out. It'd be fucking amazing.
I'm like,
Uh,
I want the flying knee. I want like some Merab shit. Like Khabib just devolves into being Merab Dvalishvili and just starts throwing random shit.
yeah. But I don't know, like I'm super intrigued about the fight. It's just people with strong takes either way. It's kind of just puzzling to me because I mean, there's literally like maybe not even a minute. Like, is there even like 2 to 3 minutes of Gaethje grappling as far as like defensively and things like that? Like, like I'll find like clips here and there in some fights, but it's just not enough at all. There's like one little clip against Eddie Alvarez in that fight, and like a few in World Series of Fighting that I don't know.
Because the end
There's
of the Michael Johnson round one.
yeah, there was something there too, but it's just like it wasn't enough, you know? Um,
Yeah,
like
like
Gaethje did talk about the right things. Like I heard an interview with him, and he's very aware that Khabib, you have to keep your back off the fence. So like at least he's aware, but I mean, being aware of something doesn't mean you can stop it either. But at least he seems to know what he needs to do.
and like Poirier in interviews seemed to know what he needed to do and
Yeah,
didn't do it.
exactly. So like you might know what you have to do, but you just doesn't mean you can stop it.
Yeah. Like I'm personally as upset we didn't get Ferguson Khabib. Like I know if Khabib probably won that fight, but still, the dynamic and the interest. I just had a far higher interest level.
Yeah.
Something
This
about
one
this just doesn't
one's
do much
interesting.
for me.
This one's still interesting, but I do agree the Ferguson one it was kinda just like the narrative of the fight too, was fun as a fan too.
It's pity we're not getting Ferguson Poirier on this card. Like originally, that was supposed to be in there.
Yeah. Chandler, honestly, I just feel like I'm just gonna throw this out there, like, you know how Chandler's a backup? Like, he's actually going, like, he's in quarantine with all the rest of the fighters, so he's going to, Abu Dhabi, and I feel like I don't know, just, like, with all the shit going on, it wouldn't shock me if one of these guys, like, had to pull out and Chandler ended up in there either.
Which is kind of absurd. Like seriously, how is Chandler the replacement for the lightweight title?
I
Like
agree. I agree.
Chandler's okay. Maybe he beat Scott Saltzman on a good day. Like I could see. I honestly don't think Chandler is even like consistent top 15 UFC lightweight. But
I
he'll
think
get the replacement spot and he'll beat Khabib by flying knees. So
yeah. It's just he hasn't beaten all that many good fighters, that's the thing, and, I mean, he's lost to guys who are, like, a little yeah, like, I tend to think he's overrated personally. He does have power though, so it kinda bails him out at times, but he, yeah, like, I don't know, I
yeah,
feel like there's a lot of lightweights that are gonna beat him, but I like Chandler, I actually grew up wrestling with him, but I just feel like he's just not like a round-winning striker, and I don't think his wrestling's good enough to dominate rounds at lightweight with it, and so it's really like his power's gotta bail him out at times.
yeah. Like even like that last Bendo fight, Bendo was kind of
Winning.
had like a great
Yeah.
strategy against him. Was beating him pretty was beating him pretty consistently standing. He just gets around and knockout.
Yeah, like, Chandler hits hard, so that's one thing you do have to just take into account, but I don't think he's that great of a striker, that's the thing. He kinda just wings hooks, you know? And he's hittable too. Like,
Like
Will Brooks beat him up twice, and I don't know, like, I feel like all his other wins have been kinda like random knockouts or just him being able to use his wrestling against people who can't wrestle, and I don't know. I do like him though, like, I wish him well. He's a good dude, but, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, maybe he proves me wrong, but, yeah, like, I don't know. I'm excited
yeah,
for Khabib Gaethje, but it's just so hard to know. It's so hard to know.
yeah, and like I would honestly struggle to take Chandler over like Felder or like Quinter. I think those would just be close fights.
Yeah, just
um,
yeah, there's plenty of lightweights who could beat him. I'd have to, like, think about it once they get matched up, but I just yeah. Like, I've had my I was I think when Pitbull fought him recently, like, I was saying I thought Pitbull was gonna beat him. Quick
I think it
knockout
was a quick knockout,
though.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a quick knockout, so it wasn't I don't read too much into it, but I also don't read too much into some of Chandler's knockouts other than the fact that he does have power.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Honestly, if like Charles Oliveira or something being this replacement would have been better, it would have been a better spot. Like it's just yeah, I appreciate Khabib Gaethje for spectacle, but just I don't know. I'm not especially sold either way, and like, so I just want something amusing to happen. Like Khabib flying knee knockout would amuse me. So I'm going to go for that.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, but I don't know, I think that's everything for this week. Is there anything else you wanna add? What's the next card after this?
What
We
else in
got
that?
Hall and Silva. Oh god.
Yeah, that's all. That should be a great fight. Actually, there's some decent betting spots in that card. Miradov Holland's been added to it. Jocko pulled out.
Oh, that's a good fight, Meredith Holland.
Yeah, like we're one pull out away from either Hall Holland or Silver Holland.
Silva Holland would be hilarious, I feel.
Yeah, like honestly, just Silver Hall Holland freeway. I think that's a good fight.
Yeah. And the
Like
great
who?
Cachoeira is on the fight too. or is on
Yeah,
that card as well?
I actually like next week's card more than I do this one. Like, there's some few more betting opportunities. I don't know. I just think there's a lot more entertaining shit shows there.
Yeah.
Like Philly Mitchell should be fun. What else? Hernandez return.
Oh, yeah, it's always an event when Hernandez is on it with you.
I have no hate left in my heart for Hernandez at this point. I can see he's lost the battle. Like the Trinaldo fight, the Trinaldo decision still scars me deeply. But I don't know. Hernandez just looks disinterested these days.
Yeah. Alright, well, I'm gonna roll, but, cool, I'll talk to you next week, and we'll be talking about Hernandez, so have a good one.
Yep, same to you. Nice to get back in tempo. Thanks for listening.
Peace.